friends, how are you today? Thank you so much for taking time to join me for this video. I have recently been asked, could you go back to doing monthly favorites videos? Because it really has been a while since I've kept up with that month-to-month favorites thing. And that is a trend. If you're kind of like just a semi-occasional YouTube watcher, monthly favorites are something that go way back. Like I'm thinking back to my apartment days. I used to do a type of video, I called them shopping list ideas, and that would be like my periodic favorites. And then I got into just calling them favorites like everybody else. I don't know, I guess over the last year or so, I maybe wondered if it was just kind of a tired video idea. I didn't know if anybody really wanted to see it more, but after seeing some requests, I thought, I think I'll bring that back. So it's the start of a new year. We've completed the first month, so let's do some favorites. And there are some where I have like more than one favorite in a category, but I'm gonna, for the most part, try to just put them all on today for like a full face. So I'm going to start out with my primer. I love my Refi Glow and Sculpt primer. I've been enjoying this for a while now. I'm wondering how long it's going to last me because I still feel like it's got a lot of juice in there, but it's like a niacinamide primer with the roller. Okay, the roller I think really helps wake up my face in the morning. And plus I'm getting a good ingredient to prep my skin with, and it feels like I get a little extra hydration, you know, but I actually do feel a little more sculpted immediately after using this thing. Like I get under here and I make sure to just go upward and get it like right in the hollow of the cheek type area. Hi kitten, did you bring me a powder puff? And then I kind of rub in the excess. I still need to do my forehead area. But you just squeeze it up and it starts to come out at the base of that roller. And then you just roll it on. Yes, the temples. Oh, it feels good. It's just a pleasant way to start things. And I feel like it ends up pairing well with a lot of different coverage products that I might add on top. So yeah, I take the excess because it's not always going to get evenly rolled on everywhere. I just rub the excess in with my hands. But yeah, this has been a good product. This was my high-end winner in the Emily Awards for Best Primer. Just very unique, unlike anything else I own. So I've used that a lot lately. Also, a complexion product I've really been getting into here the last couple of weeks has been my e.l.f. Camo Hydrating CC Cream. It says full coverage, long-lasting, dewy finish. I don't know that it's complete full coverage, but it sure does look pretty on my skin. It has the SPF 30, light 210N is my shade. I don't know what really drew me back to this. I was just trying to bounce around and use some different things among my coverage products that I maybe hadn't used so much. And I just really had a good rediscovered moment with this. And one pump, by the way, gives you a lot. I don't know that I even really am doing a full pump because a pump is a lot here. The brand is Monge. It's from that TikTok shop brush set. And it's a great little angled brush size. They're very dense, very soft, and I just definitely have this in my foundation brush rotation. But this just gives such a pretty look on my skin, and I did the video on like the hydrating base routine, and this was part of it, but I have been using it a lot because along with the hydration, it's a really strong medium coverage that I'm getting here. Does anybody know the game called Tiny Tower? This is so random. It's on the App Store. I played that thing years ago. There's something very soothing about it, very calming about it. And I feel like in these crazy times, just very relaxing is all I can say. Like if I can't get a puzzle or a coloring book out at a moment, I could do that and be like, this is very relaxing. You're stacking a little tower. There's various kinds of jobs. There's people called bitizens, and they're your people. You give them jobs. I guess that can go into my favorites too. That's only recently come back into my life though. But here's that all blended in. I mean, is the coverage not beautiful? The hydration, you can see it, I think, through the camera. I do feel dewy to the touch. It's something you're gonna set, at least I'm gonna set, but it really does feel good on my skin. So we did the Refi primer, we did the Camo Hydrating CC. Did I pull a favorite concealer out? I didn't grab one concealer in particular. I think I'm just gonna go with my Revlon Color Stay Flex, where that's honestly probably my most used. Ever since I got it, I think it's probably reigns supreme in my concealer collection. The shade is Vanilla. Great coverage, great wear all day. That matters so much to me. Concealer, I think, just uniquely shows signs of wear if it's not right, and this one really works well for me. Same line of brushes. I'm just using this little, oops, tried to stand some things up over here. I'm just using this little double-ended guy, and I'm gonna use that to spread this out. Biscuits has arrived, wanting to play fetch. I use the smaller end, and I'm spreading that out. I'm making that one little dot take up more room. And you can see one dot can take up a good amount of room. Spread, spread, spread. Now then I can just flip to the other side when I want to tap it in. Press, press, press. Look how pretty that is. I mean, it's just an amazing concealer. So smooth, such even coverage. Really pairing with this foundation nicely. Looking good. Now for some powder. Here's another category where I guess I didn't really pull out a specific thing, but I'll just throw on some Maybelline Fit Me because she's always a favorite. Little e.l.f. Pinky Puff here. And we'll apply some of that to the under eye area. This powder in Fair just kind of brightens up like none other. I continue to feel that way. You can spend a lot of money on a loose powder, and there are some very good options out there that still perform well. Like I love my Laura Mercier Ultra Blur, for example. It's a very like fine formula, and it really does do a good job looking very sneaky on the under eye, but this is good too. And then we can do our little dusting slash blending step. Man, I did so much cleaning. The word dusting came into my mind there. Bub's parents visited over the weekend. And there's just so much prep that goes into it. Like, I always have my day-to-day kind of like, okay, picking up and straightening up. But once you know somebody's coming over, it's like you see your house through new eyes and you're like, okay, I need to do some work here. And it felt like a lot, but I did feel really good once it was done. But I noticed this with me last night. I'm now at a place where like I've gotten the place so clean, and the kids leave out a wrapper here or don't pick up their toys over there. And now I'm like, keep it nice. I did all this work, please keep it nice. I don't want to see that progress get encroached on with all their stuff. I mean, kids want to play. I'm a toy person, I understand. There will come a time where there aren't toys everywhere. I have 3 young kids all at once. That life brings with it a lot of stuff, and I'm okay with that, but it's just, you know, I did have it really nice. Well, let me find a bronzer. I didn't pick a bronzer either. I swear I've got like a bag full of favorites, but they just weren't necessarily in the categories of concealer, powder, and bronzer. Oh wait, yeah, there was. It was this. This was the thing. I'm loving this. This Butter Glow stick, Butter Glow and Go it's called. Tan and Berry is the shade I have this in. This is Physicians Formula, and this might be the best textured cream contour and blush stick going in the drugstore right now. It feels very high-end. If you're accustomed to your Rare Beauty and your Persona and your M Cosmetics and all that stuff that I praise, I think you will find this is operating right on the level. So I'm going to put on some of this. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the recipe. I made these cheeseburger sliders, and they turn out so good. You're not actually making little burgers. What you're doing is you're buying 2 things of Hawaiian rolls for a total of 24 rolls. So this makes a good amount. We had a third of this whole thing pretty much left over. But you're just browning up your ground beef with some onion. If you like onion, realize Belle really couldn't handle the onion. Chopped up. You brown that up, and they have you mix a little mayo with it too. I don't know if that's kind of a binding type of thing, just like a 1/4 cup or something. But you slice your Hawaiian rolls all in half for the whole thing. Like it gets you a big long knife, and you can just kind of slice right through. Lay those out on a rimmed baking sheet that's been buttered. This helps them come out kind of crisped on the bottom. It's so good. The texture is great. I don't want soggy. Once you've cut them, you lay down some slices of cheddar, and then you spoon on your meat all over, and then you add some more shredded cheese, put your buns on, butter the top, add some sesame seeds, bake them for, it wasn't all that long, less than 20 minutes, I think. And they come out so tasty, and you can add on, like, they're really good if you add some barbecue sauce on there, or ketchup or mustard. They always turn out really good, and they don't take a long time to prepare. And it serves a good amount of people. See how easily that blended out while I went on autopilot talking about cheeseburger sliders. I'll link to the recipe below. Just something I found on Pinterest, and I've made that multiple times. And then you've got this sweet little berry side. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on, and then I may set with another blush and bronzer. But no difference in the texture of the blush. They're both equally good, equally creamy. I think I said this before when I was talking about this stick. I like Wet n Wild's cream sticks too, but these are even more glide on softly, you know? There's that great soft quality that you may have experienced out of a high-end product like that, you know? I went really high with this blush over here. Do we like that? Yeah. Then I just take a little bronzer over top. I'm using today this e.l.f. primer infused bronzer. It's the shade Fresh Tan, and it's just very pigmented, really pretty bronzer. And I feel just a little more confident in my staying power when I go over where I contoured with this. Because, you know, we've had a pretty juicy base product, and then you put on these creams. You can help yourself out if you got the time. And yeah, it feels kind of funny because now I'm going in with powder bronzer, but I have a blush on there. But it just feels easy to throw those two steps on together because they're coming off the same stick. I'm not putting on loads of bronzer here. Blush fave. I've been bouncing around a good amount, but I've been loving this so much. My Infallible Freshwear blush in the shade Confident Pink. Another one I could shout out is my Patrick Ta She's Wanted. I think both of these came up in my blush video, like rosy cheek favorites. So good, so rich. Actually, maybe I'll take just the powder from this today. Won't take much. Get a little bit on your e.l.f. blush brush and just top off that cream. The rosy cheeks of it all. It's a berry, but it shears out looking so fresh. Just get a little. You could just start with this cream too if you want to. Of course, that's the way it's sold, but just trying to incorporate all the favorites if I can. Confident Pink is so pretty too though. This looks a little cooler. This is a little bit like bright warm pink, but it's matte. It's absolutely glorious. You've seen me use that before, I know. And then this highlighter favorite, guys. Not new to me, just rediscovered, but I'm rediscovering it with a newfound kind of like gratitude and excitement for it. It's from Essence. It's called The Highlighter. The shade is called Staggering. It's very icy, pretty, without sparkly texture. It looks so good. So I'm going in with my little Real Techniques setting brush, and think of this as a little bit stepped up glow level compared to the Pure Nude highlighters. It's so pretty. Ugh. So then I kind of clean my brush off and I just work that in a bit more. It's really, really smooth. Like, you're not seeing bits of anything. It's crazy. For as brightening as it is, you'd think, well, maybe there's more product laying down. It's really a thin amount of product. Super good. I'm gonna take a little bit up here. Cupid's bow, perhaps. It's just so light and icy. I feel like it would really bounce off of just about any skin tone, no matter how fair you are. Skin looks so good. I did not pull out any particular brow favorites. I'll just do that off camera to save us a little time and I'll be back. I just did my brows. I used my Milani kind of duo of things here, the Precision Brow and the Mousse that I'm still kind of playing with, trying to figure out how I like to use that best. I put on my Milani eyeshadow primer also. And then I thought I'd share some of my most used eye things. One of them, I mean, I've been getting into my drugstore 10 and 12 pan palettes a lot, but this one has been used a lot. The Going Nude Never Looking Back from Hard Candy. This bronzy brown grouping of shades looks so good. So I've worn that quite a bit. I have worn this a ton. My Sephora palette. This is the one I got for Christmas. It's so pretty and it's got all of these fun textures and colors, but it's all very wearable tones from the berry to the warm to the neutral. I love it. It's so much fun. I've got other videos with that. And then another rediscovered moment for me is the Soft Glam palette from ABH. This is so good. Like every time I open it, I'm like, that's my jam right there. The depth, the mid-tones, the light. It's a very good palette. I believe I'm going to use that today. I just showed the Hard Candy one recently. Got other videos using the Sephora one too, so we'll bring back Soft Glam today. I love this palette so much. I'm going to go into Burnt Orange right here. Really soft, light warm brown. Like, it's just funny after you haven't laid eyes on something in a while and then you look at it, you're like, oh, that's so good. I think I did a TikTok talking about how this is such a pretty palette. It's always going to turn out a look you enjoy, and it's got a lot of range. It can go really dark if that's what you're after too. But I'm just really easily just slapping that shade in there, that burnt orange. You have this nice little cream shade up here, Tempera, where you can take that up above, maybe use that as a little blurring highlight. That's what I love, a shade that's gonna operate like a highlight, but be a little bit blurring. Let's take some Sienna. It's right next to the first shade we used. This is Sienna right here. Start working that into the crease too. There, we're getting that rustiness, that pretty warmth. Let me know in the comments section, have you been rediscovering any certain eyeshadow palettes? Like, what should come back on all of our radar? Let us know. But this is one. I love this. Look how pretty that blends out. And it's pretty intense, you know? Like, you put your brush in one of these. If you remember, a lot of the ABH palettes packaged this way, they're just very little goes a long way. Very, like, go in lightly and tap off excess, and you're gonna have plenty. So I'm just making sure I'm as blended as I want to be there. And then I think I'll take some dark cool brown, this Cypress Umber right here. Flat brush, and just begin patting that on the outer part of my lid. Shades are just velvety, easy. It can create a multitude of basic looks. Yeah, I got a little more on my brush over on that eye. But the experience putting them on is so nice. Just a lot of richness to be had, and I'm taking that all the way up to my crease. I did a very detailed, like, glam eye tutorial, because even if you're a beginner, you may have an occasion where you want to step it up somewhat. So I went very, very in-depth about the way I put together a more dramatic eye look, and I hope that's helpful. But I'm just taking my bare Profusion small pointed brush and using any of that product that went up to my crease and just blending it around. Nothing particularly on this brush. I'm just shaping it out as far as it can go, letting it come up above that crease line, knocking over my little domino trail of products I have sitting out here. It's not a mess, don't worry. I just try to sit out all the things I mentioned out of my bag. Okay, see that beauty of the cool brown that went on the outer lid and now up into our crease? And how that merges in with the shades like burnt orange and sienna that were lightly applied. Like, it's so nice. There's something really satisfying about this palette for me. And I'm just taking my crease brush and doing just maybe a little extra blending, because she's still probably got some sienna on there. Oh, so good. Now we just take something a little bit lighter, bring it inward on the lid. When I look at this, I think I could go rosy, I could go more golden. Like, you sort of have those couple of paths to take with some of the lighter shades. I want to take some of this shade called Fairy right here. More yellowy golden. Little goes a long way. I'm taking some off of my brush and just bringing some of that inward to meet up with the brown. And everything's so smooth in here, even the shimmers. You know, this was kind of before the time of brands feeling like, okay, we need to really take one and pack it with glitter. There's so much smoothness. You guys know, I mean, this is a well-known, well-loved palette. I think I'm gonna stop there on my eye look. I wanna shout out this, my cold brew stick. I use this constantly, just in this way that I'm going to show you right now. This is from Hard Candy. It's a smudgy, mid to deep bronzy shadow stick, and it's so perfect on my lower lash line. It gives kind of a smudgy, soft look that you can't quite put your finger on. You know, you can tell something's there, but it's not a stark line. Like, I love it. I use this so much, and if it's a much cooler look, I'll grab Pony, because Pony's a similar depth level, but just cooler. But Cold Brew is like my absolute fave, if you just had to get one from this line. And they've got other great things that you might need, like a pure black. They don't budge, they don't move. And a few fun shades as well, but I really like that Cold Brew, and I've been using this a ton too. My Milani Stay Put Tank eyeliner in brown. I'm not doing any wild winging. I'm just kind of keeping a line along my upper lash line. And I still do my lazy liner, you know, with maybe a deeper than Cold Brew type of shade. The L'Oreal Lace Shadow Stick in Brown Abyss is pretty good across the upper lash line because it's deeper, but it still looks very smudgy and soft. But I've been pulling this little guy out quite a bit. And then for mascara, I feel like maybe my most used over the course, well, over the course of the whole month has probably been my Essence I Love Extreme Volume Mascara. But I also want to share an emerging favorite. It's funny because look at the color scheme, just flip-flopped on each. But this new Benefit Bounce, Bad Gal Bounce, is working really well for me too. I feel like I'll wear this today. It's a drier formula mascara. I should show you the brush also. The brush is pairing two types of bristles. I don't know if you can tell that some are rubbery and some are natural, full volumizing bristle, you know? So it's kind of half and half like that. Speaking of Essence, they've done a brush like that too. Their Double Trouble one has two types of bristles, but I'm just gonna curl and pop this on, and it's just a very good building mascara. I feel it builds pretty quick. I like having those two types of bristles on the same brush, on the same wand. So it's definitely one of those brushes. I think I talked about recently how you need to be turning your mascara wand so your lashes can kind of be getting fresh product as you apply from all sides. And if you want to be taking advantage of those two very separate and different sides of this brush, you want to be moving it around some too. And you can get different applications. Like some days I feel like, oh, that built up a little differently. And it might have just been that I was using more of one side of the brush than the other, you know? But all in all, I am liking it. I feel like it's thickening me up pretty well. You can go back and build and get a little more length out of it, but I'm enjoying this. I was thinking I haven't used It Cosmetics Superhero in a while, and I think I'd stop for a bit because Mom had complained that she had a new tube that seemed really dry. It's not the most wet formula mascara, but drier than it should have been, and I kind of backed away a little bit. I just got some product on my nose, but like one coat I can be pretty happy with. Going back to add some more over here. Dang, that didn't really flake off. It kind of wanted to stick on my skin. I'm gonna grab my little lifter stick here from Maybelline so I don't look dim on that spot. Whoopsie. Okay, we repaired it. Might set that a little bit too, a little Kosas Cloud set. Still in the midst of a mascara application. I'm gonna finish and I'll be back. Finally got all done with that mascara. I put a little Cali Ray on the lower lashes too, but just a nice thickening mascara. And then I thought maybe seeing that whole finished look, I'd go back to Burnt Orange. And you could use a regular crease brush, or I have this little wispy white brush from Sigma that I still have and like to use from time to time. And you can get just this really light application. I just wanted a little more warmth kind of coming up. You can see that right up here. Loving that eye look. And then for lips, I've been really doing a great job rotating out different lipsticks, lip liners, but I do have some glosses I've kind of fallen into to put on top. And my Rimmel Stay Glossies, okay, I love these. Now I know somebody commented one time when I used one, like the scent isn't so good. They smell very like a little bit floral maybe, but just makeup-y plus some floral. They're a distant cousin to the Airspun powder. Okay, there's just something in there, but I don't mind it, and I really do like the formula, and I love these shades that I have. I have Bare Minimum, and I have Date Night. So this one's just creamy nude, and this one has that little mauve-y shimmer. And I recently added one more to the family. This one's called Penny to My Name, and it's kind of a shimmery bronze, but I enjoy those very much, very much. Good job, Rimmel. And then I've gotten back into my CoverGirl Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss. These have so little color, but yet I like the smell and I like the feel. They're good for adding some moisture and shine on top of something. This is the Acai You Later one, so it's probably like the darkest looking one in the line, but I'll put that on top of just any old lip liner and feel like I've got a pretty look. Let's pair it with Worth It Medium from L'Oreal. So this is gonna be kind of a mauve-y lip liner. L'Oreal's really trying to make a thing out of Worth It and Worth It Medium. Somebody sat down at a meeting and said, we need our own iconic shade. I just heard somebody coughing a few minutes ago. I was like, oh dear, I hope somebody's not getting sick. But then I heard laughing just a second ago, so I don't know what's going on. But there's the Worth It medium all over. Can you still not get over that pretty highlighter? And then we'll do this Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss. You can tell very transparent, very sheer, like the level of color is so barely there. And then I just go over the top because I like that smell. Oh, deeply fruity on the scent of these. I got several. They're just something that didn't really capture me at the start, but I'm just being drawn back into them. I applied a very light amount of that gloss, but it feels really good. And the last thing I might do just to finish off a little bit more, I kind of started to do this when I was repairing my mascara mistake. Take a little Kosas. I'll use Breezy, not my very lightest shade, but still pretty light. And just kind of tap some of this over as a finishing powder because my skin as a whole did not really get powdered today. My under eyes did, my T-zone did with the Maybelline Fit Me. Elsewhere, it was a matter of like cream, bronzer, and blush getting set with powder contour and blush. So I could probably stand to go over things just a little bit there, but I think things are looking pretty cohesive, pretty good. And yeah, that is my look today featuring favorites of the month. The hair comes out of the headband, always looking just amazing. It just needs a little zhuzhing and then she's acceptable. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to those who requested that I bring back some monthly favorites. It might not always be a full face every time because it just doesn't always amount to that. Sometimes the things that are my favorites, like there's way more of just one certain type of thing than another. But this time I felt like I had kind of an even spread of things and I just love the way the look turned out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.